Metatron, your guide, one with the universe. The subject of judgment has come up, that you sometimes judge yourself in not having the compassion that you think you should have. But dear ones, beloved ones, when you step back and become the observer, you do have compassion. You are just not taking it onto your sacred selves. It is a new feeling, is it not? To not feel the angst, to not feel the despair, to not feel the grief, to not take on the despair of illness from another. And so you sometimes judge yourself that you are not feeling these things, and you wonder, am I a compassionate being? Am I a being of love and light? Am I working for the mother, for the father? I am here to reassure you. Yes, it is in the standing back and the radiating of your light, of your love, to be a beacon, that is the glory, that is the celebration. And you question still, but Metatron, I understand that for others, but what about those close to me in my own family? How can I just see this and not feel the grief and despair? And you want to judge yourself for this. I am here to reassure you that even with your own beloved family members, the standing back, being the observer, is righteous. Oh, I don't use that word often, righteous, but it is something you can relate to and understand. What is righteousness? Righteousness is being aligned with the sacred divine. It is not a matter of being right or wrong. This is a different meaning. Righteousness is a zodiac, one who has come to repair the world, repairing himself, the inner work, and then standing in the fullness of who he is, of who she is. And standing in the fullness brings love, brings honor, brings light, brings healing, brings the sympathy, the empathy, the compassion, without falling into the despair of those you are shining your bright light for. But still you question. Yes, Metatron, I understand, but I just want to make sure. And so I am here to reassure you. Yes, be sure you are the righteous ones that are not compartmentalized into right or wrong, but the righteous ones that are radiating. For it is right, is it not? It is right to be light and exchange the word for love. Righteousness. You are the ones of love, or exchange the word righteousness for light, for you are the ones of light. And right in this moment, you expand, you see with me. Come, let me show you. Do you see? Do you not see the world as I see it? Look at all those beings of light that are throughout the world. Do you not see the patches of darkness? These are the righteousness ones that are beaming their light. Yes, you are of those. And is this not right? Is this not light? Is this not love? Go, look up in the dictionary the term righteousness. Give me your hand now, and the other one, and let me infuse you with my love, with my joy, with the righteousness. Be with love now. Know you are always with me. I leave you now with love. I am Metatron, magnetic being, one who has walked the earth, one who walked. Welcome. We are here to serve and assist you. We would like to begin by asking all of you to give yourselves some credit. We would like for each of you to recognize yourselves as having made it this far. Participating in a shift, such as the one you are in the midst of, is not easy. It is not for the faint of heart. Many of you are taking on more than your share in order to be of service, and we are pleased to witness you in your process and to offer our support every step of the way. It only takes a moment to acknowledge yourselves, but the impact of that moment stretches out across all time and space. You and only you can give yourselves the credit, the recognition, and the acknowledgement that you really deserve, because if you receive it from somewhere or someone outside of you, it will not be received by you. Not in the same way. Fortunately, you have us to remind you, and you have all of your guides encouraging you to love yourselves, to take care of yourselves, and to give yourselves that which no one else can. But ultimately, it is up to you. It is up to you to hold yourselves in the light, to praise yourselves, and to acknowledge your worth. And in so doing, you build a bridge between your ego and your higher self. You give yourselves an upgrade. You spread your wings, and you allow yourselves to soar as you were always meant to. So take a moment to acknowledge the beauty of your essence, the determination that you have demonstrated, and every single act of kindness and service that you have ever performed. Be willing to do this at least once a day, and feel the immediate benefits. We are Michael. We are infinite. We are love. Christine. Hi light workers. I woke up this morning feeling in a state of bliss, as I often do after having projected to the etheric realm during the night and having been in the presence of Archangel Michael. He started giving me some information and I was concerned in case I could not remember it all. So I went and got some paper and a pen, and he gave me a dictation. The key words he gave me are inauguration, congratulations, and completion. We are being congratulated because today, January 7th, 2018, is the official date at which the particular astrological position of the Moon in the 7th house and alignment of Mars and Jupiter are beginning to take place simultaneously, and this means we are successfully passing through some symbolic gates, have crossed a line, and have completed some cycles, and some celebrations are due because of the victory of the light. There are multiple videos on YouTube that explain the astrological influences of the age of Aquarius. When we enter the age of Aquarius, we have completed not only our journey through the Piscean age, which has been difficult, but also that of a cycle of approximately 26,000 years. At the end of the cycle we were due for some karmic retributions, so it could be balanced, and according to Elizabeth Clare Prophet, these became gradually more physical, and the process was represented in biblical scripture by the ride of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. However, I have stressed in the past that the term apocalypse means disclosure because the Greek term calypso means hat is hidden. It means the eradication of what was hidden. It was supposed to be a time of disclosure and of revelation, more than one of catastrophic events, but Archangel Michael has indicated that there was a problem. Disasters, which are viewed as acts of God, have not taken place by God will but were man-made, or geoengineered, to be more precise, as has been previously revealed. We are being congratulated for the fact that we have arrived at that point at which we are definitely entering the Aquarian age, and Archangel Michael has told me this morning that the date previously given for the end of the period of transition, February 18, 2018, also is for an inauguration in relation to that crossing of the emblematic line. He has also given me some details with regard to the state of emergency which was announced yesterday in a short message. On January 5th, I had been informed that a massive operation was underway. Archangel Michael and Andre, my ascended twin flame, as well as my I Am Presence, had also communicated to me that a world state of emergency was in position for the forces of the light, and that it was not a galactic state of emergency, but one to do with the earthly system. Andre had confirmed this in a short dictation as follows: Andre, the information of this message and in the title is absolutely correct. We are engaged in a massive operation, and the forces of the light are on standby under a red alert and state of emergency which is applicable to the whole world. You will hear more about this later. Any prayers or decrees at this time would be a great help. Thank you, Christine. Now, here is the message I have recorded this morning. Lord Michael, dear ones, the state of emergency, or red alert, for the forces of the light where this earthly system of life is concerned, is being maintained because the influences of Aquarius is like a double-edged sword leading to a liberation from the anarchy of the forces of darkness and their systems, or evil pyramid of control. If you have listened to videos by astrologers you will know all the details, how the astrological portents and influences of the age of Aquarius will prevent secrecy, deception, the suppression of truth, and will take mankind upon a path of spirituality as well as that of the discovery of the higher self. It is a door opening to the golden age of Saint Germain, the hierarch of Aquarius, in which the violet flame will be applied to all world problems for an alchemy of transmutation and complete transformation and liberation, because the violet flame is the power of love and forgiveness that can transmute all errors of the past, so mankind can forge ahead into a miraculous realm which you are not able to fully conceive yet. It also is a project of the Master El Morya to recreate civilization with his experience as the legendary King Arthur of the Round Table. There is, however, a negative aspect to the transition due to the fact that the Dark Ones, the Fallen Ones, those who ruled as an establishment in secrecy, who are strategically, structurally and politically organized as a deep state, have attempted to prolong their reign far beyond the safely limit for mankind, and for it to pass through to the new astrological influences without risks. They were reluctant to lose power, and opposed the light with vigorous negativity. A state of emergency has been put in place as now there is a disruption taking place at various levels in the political field, which I will explain in a minute. There cannot be any more secrecy nor deception in the age of Aquarius, and the influences have got stronger on January 7th and previous days, and gradually during the previous weeks, or even months. But they are now stronger at a time when mankind is not as much in readiness for the stepping into the energies of Aquarius as it should have been because of the actions of the Dark Ones. The state of affairs is causing a disruption because of the structure of secrecy in high places and due to the shadow government. The entire evil pyramid of control, as we have called it, is designed on principles that are totally in opposition, or at opposite poles, to the stars' influences at this time. So there is a danger that everything will fall apart, and veils will be stripped off from mankind consciousness too abruptly, and this is because the new conditions will not permit these abominable structures of governance, control, deception, self-service, anymore. This is the fulfillment of the divine decree that evil interference will be removed. The influences, or portents, will take mankind upon a spiritual and mystical path, and restore it to an existence that is natural, and to a state of being that is even beyond the concept of love by the discovery for every being or soul, of the reality of their true self. Truth will be revealed. In desperation the dark ones have brought mankind to an edge, a cliff, instead of allowing a smooth transition. That is why a state of emergency has been declared and put in position. It will be held for a few days, or as long as necessary. The breakdown of the matrix, or disruption, is affecting the leaders of the nations at the high level of their meetings, known or unknown to you, as the structure that is normally, or up to now, holding and supporting things in place, such as negotiations, are at a risk of collapsing. The structure is, in a sense, an invisible psychological politico-social matrix that is not being supported by the stars anymore, and in fact which the stars are causing to disintegrate. Their world is collapsing and all of their manipulations of the psyche are met with difficulties. They feel a force pulling them apart in their psyche. On one hand they agree to go in one direction because of some deals made for some amount of disclosure, and when they want to go their natural way back to rebuilding their empire, or power, with some deception, because it is their natural tendency, there is a reaction to prevent them to do so. The forces of the light have worked long and hard to make the transition smooth and preserve the systems to some extent so that mankind does not suffer by, for instance, a sudden collapse of the financial system, although they have in their power an alternative system that could replace it. You have lived through a long battle in opposition to the dark forces, that pyramidal structure of control, in the sense of its compartmentalization. For much too long the struggle has taken the world to an edge and risk of collapse. There is disruption taking place. At the same time, the president has been working on the seizing of certain assets and monies that have been used to maintain certain scientific and military facilities that the industrial military complex is, or has been, using to destructive ends to an extent that is only just beginning to be revealed by certain sources exposing cover-ups in the field of chemical trails, geoengineering, and secret technologies, even secret science, all endeavors in relation to obtaining supremacy and world control. This is in relation to a secret shadow government being able to exercise control in many nations through this secret structure in relation to anything that is industrial, military, scientific, political, educational, nutrition, medicine, and many other things. False international political scenarios have been played out to deceive mankind with the illusion that the world is composed of different nations which are separated by frontiers. But under that projection is the fact that there is a control exercising an influence over the people who only have their own identity and their history, culture, and separation for a cycle of time. The domination, indoctrination, and geoengineer disasters, as well as deception had to be funded. The scientific installations and laboratories all had to receive money from somewhere. The seizing of the assets and monies because of the executive orders truly is the slaying of the dragon, to use a mythical and symbolic analogy. It is the nail in the coffin. However, the situation is complex and it required a state of emergency to be put in place for mankind's safety. The key word is structure. It is the structure of all the systems which is being dismantled. Aquarius does not permit secrecy and manipulations. The veils are coming off. It is a good thing, but it is in an abrupt way. That is the reason for the state of emergency. In a sense, this disruption will accelerate the process of disclosure beyond measure and control. So the doors are opening to the new age with the alignments. The light workers will not have any problems with the changes from the point of view of their spirituality, or psyche, but for other minds that are not so open, what is about to take place will be traumatic, to say the least. The doors are opening to the new age with the alignments, and the alignments are the signs in the sky for you to know when earthly life becomes subject to the energies of the Aquarian age. The hierarch of the Piscean age which is over was the Master Jesus. But understand that it was the negative aspects of Pisces that were manifested. It is also the work of the hierarch of the Aquarian age, Saint Germain, that provides the combustion and is the power of propulsion that will literally thrust mankind into a new set of conditions. And because the dark forces are being removed, the situation is very different. The gates are opening to an era of reconstruction and very positive conditions without opposition from any dark powers. Saint Germain brings the violet flame, a tool of transmutation for the alchemy of the psyche, a transformation, integration of higher consciousness, for all to walk the path of ascension. It is a path of discovery of oneself and reality, as well as one of reunion, in which contact with your divine presence, your higher selves, ascended twin flames, as well as higher dimensional beings, will be experienced, As explained before, you have come into incarnation to hold the balance of light against the darkness of the world. The light workers certainly have held that balance. We will soon be able to devote more time to an understanding of the positive changes that will totally transform the world. The great causes for the world problems, including the misuse of secret technologies to cause disasters, will vanish. So have faith, and I will leave you for now in the light and love of the higher dimension, and of the age of Aquarius, and we can never be separated. I am with you always. Archangel Michael.